Hello, dear friends and viewers. I'm going to bring you some information and kind of about the geography and some herbalism and how it all kind of plays in together. So I am here in the coastal Siskiyou Mountains of Southern Oregon, and it's not what most people think of when they think of Oregon. It can be very barren and open and rugged terrain. And I've been walking on this trail here. This trail is actually on the edge of a mining ditch. So you can see, here's the trail, and somewhere up there's my dogs. They'll probably come running along any moment. But here's the trail. And then down here, this is a mining ditch. Now, when I talk about how this terrain can be really rugged, and you can see it's a lot of stunted growth. Plants do not grow well here. The trees tend to stay short, and the bushes don't grow as tall, and everything is far apart or spread out. You don't really have a lot of dense timber across a lot of these areas. And it's dry. It's very dry. The soil does not hold water very well, and so the soil is very high clay. So what happens then is when it rains and the water hits the high clay soil, some of it will seep in, but without there being a lot of other organic material in the soil and sand and different components, a lot of the water just runs off. So as you can see, these hills turn brown very quickly, and I think of it as being sort of like a desert, even though clearly is not an actual desert. It reminds me very much of the desert. There's my dog Denali. Anyway, but I've been harvesting some herbs, some medicinal herbs, and it's because of this ditch. Now this ditch no longer carries water to any mining operations or anything. It's an old miner's ditch. It's no longer actively used, and in fact there's various points at which the side of it has washed out and the water just runs freely down the mountainside instead of flowing through the ditch. You can see though, this is bare clay soil here down inside the ditch, which tells you that water does actively pool here. Because more water pools here, all of a sudden the ecology of this one area following this ditch has its own ecology that is totally different from the land above and below it. Upslope is dry. When you get over the berm where the trail is, it's dry. But right where this ditch is, because it holds water longer in the season than the rest of the surrounding country, different plants will grow here. It might only hold water 2 or 3 weeks longer than the rest of the country, than the rest of the soil, but it holds water longer. There's more water available. Now also, coming up here, in the area immediately below the ditch, in the immediate berm down here, there's also a difference in ecology where often you will see the same plants growing here as what grow in the ditch. The reason is because water will soak through the soil in this berm and will water the plants that are out on this slope. So you have increased water here because it's coming from the ditch and it's soaking through the soil of the berm. So I'll show you what I've been doing. This is my collection jar. Okay, I have been gathering gumweed flower buds, and I have an alcohol solution in here. I'm dropping them straight into the alcohol. It's creating a tincture. These are the flower buds, and this white resin is the medicine. So this resin can be extracted in alcohol. There's some resin down inside that flower. The resin can be extracted in alcohol. So I'm picking these and I'm putting them into that alcohol down in the jar after a few weeks, and I'll put more alcohol in. I'll make sure, hopefully I'll fill this jar with flower buds, and then I will cover them entirely with alcohol, and then in a few weeks I will have a ripe tincture. So this particular medicine is really good for asthma. It's a bronchial dilator, meaning it opens up the airways that are being restricted during an asthmatic attack. It's also good for stopping spasmodic coughs, especially dry coughs that are non-productive. So it's really good at stopping those. It clears the lungs. It breaks up mucus in the lungs so that the mucus can be brought up and expelled from the body. And anyway, there's several other uses as well, but I can't really think of all those uses and talk and run a video at the same time. So this is what I have. So again, this is gumweed. I'm sorry I don't have the Latin name to send you all on a chase for how to find the exact plant, but if you look up gumweed, you'll find it. And anyway, and I'm finding it all along this ditch, and I'm finding it only in the ditch and only on the outside slope of the ditch. It's not anywhere else on these hillsides, up the hill above the ditch, out in the open meadows down lower. It's only along both sides of the ditch where the ditch has created more of a water capture. And like I said, that changes the ecology in the immediate vicinity of where that water is captured. And so I have medicine all along my path, and I'm spending my morning collecting it. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody, and until next time.